welcome back to another series where we will be preparing specifically for a Python interview in 10 days. So if you are having an interview real quick, you can please follow up my videos where we'll be discussing each and every basic topic to an advanced level so that we end up covering all the topics required for the interview. So let us quickly dive into the first topic, which is variables in Python. Now the reason I have labeled this file as a underscore variables.py so that it comes in a sequence A, B, C, D like this. So the files, the default settings of my VS Code is that the files will be arranged in a sequential manner, like in an alphabetical order. So that's why I've named it as code a underscore variables.py. Now the very first line that you can already see, I have written with the comment line that we used in Python, which is hash. Hash is the comment line, and I have written the definition of variables, which says that a variable is a named container used to store data in memory. It allows us to store and reuse values through our program. Now if we talk about the syntax, sorry, a comment line, if we talk about the syntax of this, the syntax stands as variable, just a minute, variable name is equal to the value, no semicolon, nothing after this. So variable name equals to value. Now let us suppose get some examples. So example, say suppose I am giving a name, this is a variable, and let us suppose give it a value. Say suppose I am giving my name, sorry, there is my name. Let us get into the age, say suppose the age, so age may be this. Then let us get on to the salary, say suppose the salary was this. Then suppose I am starting with is teacher, this is a boolean value again. What is boolean and everything, I'll be telling you that, so not to worry about that. So that is true. Now if I print each one of them, so print, say suppose I am printing the name and I am printing the age, what values we will be getting. Now you already have guessed, in the name we will be getting 50, in the age we will be getting as 22. So now if we run the Python file and see, so see here we have got the name as it is and our age. Now why do we use the variable? So what is the variable helping us to do? It is helping us to store information, reducing values, making programs dynamic, and improve code readability. Now without variable, what would have been the scenario? The print statement would have looked like this: print Ridley. So suppose I want to print this name, I would used to have, without variables it would have looked like this. With variable it's look like this, that I am declaring a variable name and I am printing the name. I can change the name according to my requirement. Now there are something called naming rules. What are those naming rules of a variable? That it should have letters from A to Z. So like I have stated over here, A to Z, the names are there. It can be uppercase, lowercase, it can have number. That means if you want, you can put a number over here, name 1. Okay, got it? You can put a number, you can put a number and an underscore as well. So if I put name underscore 1 and I replace this with name underscore 1, this also works. Now what is not valid? It cannot start with a number. Suppose if I to age, see it's giving me an error. So the name of the variable cannot start with a number. And what else? We cannot use some special key. So instead of underscore, say suppose I want to use @ I cannot do that, it throws an error. Next, I cannot use any special keys and Python keywords for sure. So while naming any of the variables in any of the programming languages, you cannot use keywords of that language. Now, one more important thing that I need to mention over here, unlike other programming languages, these name of the variables, like it is typed dynamically typed. That means if you notice here, I have written a name, here I have written numbers, again here a number, again here a boolean value, that is true and false. But I have not mentioned the type of the data in each of the case. So this is something special about Python, that we do not need to mention the data type. But still, if we want to see the type of the text, what are data types, we'll be discussing again in the next video in details. But before that, if we still want to know the type of, say suppose age, and say suppose type, it will be type, and I want to print this statement, let us put a print statement before this. So I am printing the type of age. So what will I be getting? Most of you have already guessed. See, it's class int. That means it's an integer. Now we can perform various operations, it would have printed the type of name, we would have got string. Now talking about the speciality that we have included over here are the interview questions. So what can be the interview question? What is a variable? A very basic question, yet you will be thinking, but yes, it's very important. Second question you might get as, does Python require variable declaration? So the answer to this question will be no. It automatically creates a variable when a value is assigned. So if I am writing age is equal to 22, so automatically it is created. Next one will be, why is Python called dynamically typed? Now why is it called so? Because the data type is determined automatically at the runtime. So as we can see, at the runtime we could see the type of the data. Similarly, during the runtime it can automatically detect the data type. Next very important question to this, can a variable change its data type? The answer to this question will be yes. If I have written name1 is equal to this, age is equal to 22, if I change the data, say suppose I have written a value over here as x is equal to a name, say suppose a name I have written, and if I, in the next line, if I write x is equal to 25, and now I print the value of x, what will be getting? What do you think? See, we have got 25. That means the last value that I have assigned, that will be printed. So yes, it can change its data type. It has changed its data type from string to an integer. Next, if after this question, a very important one, difference between single equal to and double equal, very important. So this is an assignment operator and this is a comparison operator. This assigns a value and this one checks the equality, whether a particular variable is equal to the next value or not. Next question that you can have, I'm trying to cover up all the questions. So what happens if we use a variable before before assigning it? So if we do not assign a value and say suppose I have not assigned a value, say suppose y over here, so if I print this y, let us see what we will get. See, we are getting an error over here. Let us run the file and see. So name error, it will show name y is not defined. So this is what happens if you use a variable without assigning it. Next one, what is variable reassignment? Very next question that we might get is, what is variable reassignment? That means we have assigned a value already. See, a next value I have assigned age equals to 25. So while I am printing this, I will be getting 25 as the value in case of age when we are printing it. Next question that you can get, that might be, what is multiple assignment? Now what does this mean? Assigning values to multiple variables in one statement. Say suppose I am doing it over here so that it becomes clear. So if I write over here x comma y, or let us take it at PQR, P comma Q comma R is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this of course we can do, and if I want to print, say suppose P comma Q comma R, we can obviously print it and we will be getting a valid output. See, I've got an output. Next question that you can get, can two variables point to the same object? It's a very important question. Can two variables point to the same object? Now what does this mean? This means that, say suppose a is equal to 10 and b is equal to a. So what will be the value of a and b? So if we print a and if we print b, the value will obviously be 10. But can we do this? The answer says yes. So I will just write a yes over here, that yes, we can do this. Okay, and the explanation I have already given. Now the last but not the least, a very basic question, but most of you make the mistake. What is the difference between a variable and a constant in Python? So what is the difference? That Python does not have true constants, and by convention variables intend to remain unchanged are written in uppercase. So say suppose I am writing this answer over here. So the answer says that Python does not have true constants. By convention variables intend to remain unchanged are written in uppercase. Examples say suppose the value of pi. So I have written this in uppercase and the value stands 3.14, somewhere at about 159. Again you can say max users. Sorry, I have to write in uppercase. Max underscore users. Say suppose I am giving this as a value, this value will remain constant, so I have written in uppercase. So this is a writing convention. So these are the must practice questions that you should be practicing for your interview. Now we are going to discuss that how can like what are the how can we take a user input, what are local and global variables and some instance variables as well. Change the name of the, say suppose yes I am taking as this, so that there is no confusion. Yes, what's the matter with this? I'm printing s is not defined, but I have defined s over here. What's the matter? I shouldn't be getting this error. Okay, let us write as s is equal to 0. So okay, fine. I am getting something as 100 and then a 0. So inside a variable C, I am getting it as a this value. So it is while it is inside the function and exits only when the function is executing. Now what happens in case of a global variable? Global variable is what? I am not assigning the value over here. I have assigned the value outside that I have done before. So now if I will be printing s, I'll be getting the value both the places as 0. So in the previous case it was a local variable, in this case it is a global variable. Now, what is the purpose of global keyword? It allows a function to modify a global variable instead of creating a new global variable within the same name. So difference are many. What are the differences? The differences are that a local variable is declared inside a function, global is declared outside the function. Local is variable is accessible only within that function, as you saw that when I was printing the value of s it was 100, but when I am printing it outside it is coming 0 again. So and it is a global variable accessible throughout the program. Wherever you want to use it you can. Local variable exits only during a function execution. So function is executing, it exits a function, and the global variable will keep on executing until and unless the program ends. Next up we have something called instance variable. Instance variable. Now what's an instance variable? Instance variable belong to an object. They are created using the self keyword. Say suppose I have written a class over here. The class name is student and I am defining a function inside this. So I have written def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. The first parameter stands self, then a name, and then I have written age. Okay, and now I'll be defining. So self dot name will be the name, and self dot age will be the age. And say suppose here I have given s1 as the creation of the first object, so s1 stands at that. So student name I'll be giving, say suppose my student name, say suppose Devjani, that's my student's name, and then a comma and say suppose she is 18 years old. So I will now print, what will I print? S1 dot name. Okay, this one is not printed as 1, just fix it. So s1 and again a print statement. I'm just doing a copy paste. S1 and then h. Now let us execute this. Let us see. I have got the both the variables. So what is happening over here in the instance variable? We are using the self keyword. It belongs to an object. It can be accessed using the object, and lifetime depends on the object. So it's completely an object based thing. What is the difference between local and global variable? You can get it as interview question. What is an instance variable? You can get it as question. Can two objects have the same values for the same instance variable? The answer stands as yes, it can have. Okay. Say suppose name. I have taken two names. It can happen. Say suppose s1 dot self is equal to name and I am printing s1 Say suppose I am taking another student, say suppose S2, and I have written as student Debjani, and say suppose one more student I have Trishan, and his age is also 18. So to the input function is used to accept input from the user. So if I write, say suppose, what stands at the syntax? First let me write the comment line. Taking user input. So if I'll be taking user input, so I'll have to use the input function. So this function is used to take the user input. So the syntax stands as the variable. I'll be taking input, then bracket open, then within double inverted commas, the statement, okay, and then a colon, and then just this. This is the thing. And if there is a value, suppose comma, if you want to put the variable name again, you can go over there. So this is the thing. I'm just removing this extra space. Next, if I want to take an example, say suppose in the first name I was taking name underscore one, suppose I want to take another name as an input, so I would write name2 is equal to input. I will write the string, enter your name. So basically it's like filling up a form. Then I want to print with a greeting that says suppose welcome. You can take it as a hello world program as well, that we do as a beginner. So I'll be printing, as I was saying, if I want to print the name of the variable, so name of the variable is this. So let us see how this thing goes. So enter your name, suppose I am entering another name. See, it's printing welcome and the name beside that. So if I want to say that what will be the, again this gives rise to an important interview question, that is what is the return type of input function? The answer will be string. So the answer is that it always returns a string. Okay, if we want, even if it's an age, by default it is so, but even if it's an age, we will be getting a string. Okay. We can take multiple inputs in a similar way. How? Let's see another thing. Yes, local and global variables. What are those? A local variable is declared inside a function and can only be accessed within the function. What that means? What? Let me give some comment line. Let me put a separation. Yes, that's a separation. So let me come to local and global variables. So what is a local variable? Local variable means what, it is declared inside a function. So say suppose def, we are going to display a function. The name of the function stands as display. So I'm going to display what, x is equal to, say suppose 100, and I am printing the value of x. Now we are calling the function. So this is our function call done. So we will be getting the output as 100, very clear from this. Now if I want to access it outside this, so suppose print x, if I want to access this, what we will be having 10. Let me just put a comment line on this, otherwise yes. Okay, so I am getting 100 and then the output is coming as 25. Oh, because I have taken the value of x over. Let us change the. What will happen if I print the name of S2? If I print the name of S2, see it's getting printed. So it's the same object. So it's a very important question apart from those, that can two objects have different values for the same instance variable? The answer will be yes, and you can explain it by this example. Now, what happens if a local and a global variable have the same name? The global variables take precedence inside the function. This is also an important question. What happens if a local variable takes precedence inside the function? The answer will be, sorry, what happens if a local this question got wrong. Local variable takes precedence inside. The question stands if a local and global variable have the same name. So local variable takes precedence inside the function. This will be the answer. What happens if you try to modify a global variable without using a global keyword? Python uses a new local variable instead of modifying the global one, or raises an unbound local error if you try to read it before the assignment. This is also a very important question, and the answer I am writing over here. Just a minute. If I, what was the question? Let me just recall once. What happens if we try to modify a global keyword without global variable, sorry, global variable without using a global keyword? So in this case, Python creates a local variable. Python creates a local variable instead of modifying the global one. So this one will be the answer to that question. So by the end of this video, we have completed all the questions that we will be getting as an interview question, or we might get an interview question. If you have any doubts after this, please let me know, and please see this instance variable properly. It's very important topic, and if you want this file, please let me know. I'll be providing this to you personally. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.